Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. We are live on a Thursday night, Friday Junior, if you will. We got it in the books. The weekend is upon us, but we are going to cap off Thursday night with a little bit of TNA wrestling tonight. Impact is in the house, a monstrous ball. But I have a feeling we're going to have another topic to talk about for the first little while. The show is not for a little bit, but me and that pretty face going to run you through everything going on in this crazy world we call wrestling. What a year it's been, and it just continues to keep on giving. But strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel-good, folks. Click all those little buttons down there. Be a part of the show. Click the thumb. But welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are the channel that just covers more live wrestling than anyone else out there. And we are back at it again. Like we said, TNA Impact is on tap. For those who don't know, we're going to watch it in a little bit on YouTube. But we got about 30 minutes to kill before that happens. We figured we'd start a little bit early today. We talk a little bit of wrestling because I feel like everyone's got a lot to talk about, and I didn't have this guy last night to banter with about what was going on. So we're going to do it today. But I will remind you, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube, and that is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight KJ White. I am Big Nick, and yes, I didn't have to grind on anybody to get where I'm at.
Bullshit.
There ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Yes, there is.
The guy who sang that song, yeah, but yeah.
But all that being said, folks, thank you for being here on a Thursday night. I see the chat filling up. Get in there. Last night we had a huge night on the channel. Thank you, Mr. Punk, Mr. TK. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we want to see it happen again and again and again. So if you don't know, we are back tomorrow for SmackDown Rampage and the Windy City Riot. So much to talk about in the wrestling world. But Nick, before we get into what everyone wants to talk about, there's something very important I need to address.
Oh.
For everyone out there who watches these videos, I am not Kevin Owens.
Yes.
I am not. We are both handsome Canadians. I know I got the distinguished look. And I do want to point out, Nick, the man is 10 months younger than me. So I know a lot of people think I'm old KO.
It's the gray, my guy. It's the gray. I think now it's making me think of like the one time you were around Halloween when you were putting all the dark stuff in your hair there, pause for, to cosplay as me and everything like that. But yeah, no, it's just, again, you mentioned it, huge stream last night. So shout out everybody that was here last night. And again, let's keep that ball rolling. Yeah, I did kind of click through some of the comments.
Oh my God.
Aren't you Kevin Owens? Aren't you Kevin Owens? Well, and then we were in react videos from WrestleMania and everything. Go to this time. That's Kevin Owens. Go to that time. It's Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
That's got to be on a shirt on our merch store at this point now. I am not Kevin Owens.
Right. I might actually have to do that. I said cousin earlier. I just responded randomly to somebody. They were like, are you KO? And I'm like, cousins.
Hey, you might be, honestly, at this point. You never know.
All right. But, and nothing wrong with being mistaken for that handsome double. So I'll accept it. I'll take it. And I will also backslide myself into a compliment as well. But yes, folks, I am not Kevin Owens.
There we go. Well, I'll transition nicely into two things here because you mentioned handsome devil, and it's interesting to see Hook's, stance in that whole situation that they showed last night, to where he's just kind of like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Right. And then I also mentioned Friday we're going to be here watching Windy City Riot as well, which is going to be in Chicago with Jungle Boy on the card. And boy, howdy, I can't wait for that.
Right. No, lots here on the channel, lots of things to dive into. I don't know how you want to start this off as far as the topic at hand, but I mean, we could kind of break down what happened. Actually, let's do this. You weren't here last night.
Yeah.
Overall, the show itself was, from what I've seen, horribly fucking critiqued by a lot of people. Even some of the truest of diehards in digital cars weren't happy. The show itself, Nick, outside of the obvious, did you feel the same way about the show?
If you took the giant, massive, I don't know how long, we're only 5 minutes in the video, so I can't swear yet. If you take the 2 porta potties out of that, show, was overall where Dynamite's pretty much been at, and I think we even saw what the ratings that came out today, it kind of fell pretty much where it's been at. That's the thing. So, like, Penta and Copeland was good. I know there was a big discussion about the women kissing. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you about Copeland and that. Sorry.
No, you're good. So that's the thing, though. But you had 2 gigantic, Titanic size anchors there.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, I mean, they did all this for 60,000 more views. And at the end of the day, I found it really, when they say read the room, I don't know if we got to get Tony Khan some braille, but he ain't reading anything right now. Like, he puts out that tweet today about the ratings. Oh, we were up 29%. Wait a minute. You're just clearing 800. Like, that's not a brag.
That's the first time they missed 800. Well, they hit 800 even all of March. They hit 819 last night, for those who don't know. The last time I looked this up, the last time that they hit over 900, which I thought this is what we would be aiming for. If we're going to get a huge push, this is controversy. This is what we're gambling on this to an extent. I'm really putting my chips in here. They haven't hit 900 since October of last year.
And like we said, it was lose-lose, because now anybody that said, oh, yeah, you were up 29%. Thank you, Punk.
Right, exactly. It's what we said going into this 100%. CM Punk is still one of the biggest draws in AEW, even though he hasn't worked there in months now. You had people in the crowd that were chanting CM Punk while they were showing the footage when the Young Bucks came out. They're going to have the Young Bucks versus FTR in a match on Dynasty this coming Sunday. You don't think we're going to see or hear CM Punk chants?
Oh,
this has been the biggest backfire, the biggest snafu. And I will say this, and again, I'm probably rambling because I wasn't here last night. But this is literally, though, everything that we've been saying for months on end at this point. Ever since I've been throwing up the WCW, finger gesture doing the Bret Hart and everything.
Yeah.
This has been coming down the pipeline, and everybody, oh, you're just hating on AEW. No, we want AEW to succeed. And we've seen this coming down, and we've seen the trends, and this is how they act. Am I surprised that they actually really did it and it wasn't the Young Bucks talking over it and, poking fun at it? That's
what I thought they were going to do.
Well, and how do you feel that they are using it towards the FTR thing, and then FTR had to come out and respond of, why are we even showing this?
Yeah, FTR got a chance. FTR was the only saving grace in that situation at all, because they kind of said what everybody in the building was thinking. And they actually got some cheers, a few pops for what they were saying. Now, I think that Tony and the Bucks think that, oh, this is great. It works into the storyline. And I saw some, TikTokers and whatever, streamers out there today of like, you guys don't understand. Like, they explain, like, it worked into the story. It's bullshit, and it's silly, and it's dumb. We lost our match because some guy we're kind of friends with got in a 6-second scuffle with the old guy that we hate. That's not a good angle. That's not a good story. Listen, Dusty Rhodes, one of his rules, one of his mainstays as far as code of conduct within wrestling, it was always never cut a promo on somebody you can't get in the ring with. And they blew that up all night long last night.
Well, and even the reaction across the board, you had Corey Graves sit there sharing, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right.
All of that. Yeah. But even Sean Spears, who was just in AEW, sending that whole gif out and everything of the guy throwing the medicine ball and then smacking him in the face. But that's the thing, is what was there to be gained from anything like this? Like, we've all been children. We've all gotten caught with our hand in the cookie jar, that type of shit. You make an excuse as to, I was getting it for Billy. That's why I'm doing it. It wasn't me doing it. That type of shit. That's what this felt like, though, of, well, it's because of FTR. And I get that they're doing it to fucking kayfabe and everything like that. But you only did that. You're shoehorning an excuse around you just needing to get your rocks off. and see, didn't we show that CM Punk's wrong? No, you literally, there's people that have sat there and synced it up verbatim with everything. And I'm glad those videos haven't getting taken down, because would they be taking down videos if this went over well? But
No.
there have been people that have synced that up literally like line for line, shot for shot, and literally damn near everything that he said in his interview with Ariel, which again, he said it during an interview, not his TV time, not on the WWE show, no nothing, but literally lined up exactly with what he said. So what did you prove here? That you're a bunch of petulant children that we've said for the longest time? Absolutely. That Tony Khan doesn't know what he's saying? Absolutely.
Yeah, the lack of maturity from a group of men. Like when we talk about the Young Bucks, they're in their 30s, they're fathers. When we talk about Tony's what, 38? I mean,
yeah, he's around my age-ish, a little bit older.
Yeah, like we're not talking about children. And you know what? Listen, we talk all about the tribalism all the time, but at the end of the day, there is a huge difference between bias and blind. And those people that are so like fucking David Koresh didn't have this loyalty. Like it's insane the how some people just blindly, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm watching the same security footage as you, and you're going, oh my God, I saw one TikToker, and then he punched him. When?
Well, again, you're seeing people who have never been in a physical altercation before, and guys like I know you, especially being around hockey and everything like that. Christ, you're a Canadian. Fighting's just, you came out of the womb, fucking throwing gloves. You had to spend 5 minutes in the penalty box before they had cut the umbilical cord,
right?
But 100%, and just even the reaction from the EVPs, all of that, you would think that a whole company that most of their, wrestlers and their roster and everything no-sell 95% of their moves, you think they could no-sell an interview.
Right.
No, that's the one thing we put over is the goddamn interview. Or even, we can halfway mention this because I mentioned it in the intro, of Will Ospreay taking a shot at Triple H because of a question that he answered during Pat McAfee's, interview, which he didn't say anyone specifically, he was saying it towards.
I was going to ask you, because I know you and I are both big fans of Ospreay, and you were, back when, really being, super excited about him being involved. So to see it now and see what happened last night, I mean, again, it added to the whole story of like WWE is living in AEW's head rent free. It is embarrassing. But what did you overall feel about what Ospreay did? Like, we love him, great promo, but
he took a shot that, especially anyone of our age, of our vintage, you've heard that half a dozen times and everything like that. It was, again, completely unnecessary, completely irrelevant. It was the minor leagues to what, the Bucks did with showing the footage. That's the major leagues.
Right.
And I think, Renee Moxley Good's face and Tony Schiavone's face of all, even before and after, he was having flashbacks, that guy.
Yeah, he was having that puts asses in seats flashback.
I saw somebody, and I shared it in our Discord, that literally split his face from Bash at the Beach 2000
I saw
to last night, and it's literally the exact same face. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, he looked so uncomfortable. He physically had turned away from everybody else involved. Like,
while you were on stream and everything, and I was watching it at home, and I literally, all I needed to know about what I was about to watch, I could tell from the way Tony Schiavone looked before and after they aired it. That's all I needed to know, because if that's a guy who works for the company, and I've never seen that man again outside of, some that'll put butts in seats type shit, literally look beside himself.
Yeah. Could you imagine going to your boss and saying, hey, boss, can I have 5 minutes on TV? And the boss says, why? And he says, well, somebody said some things, and there's a few people on the internet that think it's about me, and I would like to, rebuttal. And the boss goes, sure, why not? We got nothing else going on.
But that, well, on one hand, shit, that is kind of the thing. They don't have anything else going on, or that they should be focusing on other shit they have going on. But I will pay respect to Dave the Greco, who I listened to before we went live, of him breaking it down, about like 20-minute clip on Bust Open's YouTube, to where he even said same thing with the, them showing the footage from with the Bucks and everything. Same thing, especially with Will Ospreay's promo. Now, granted, he was more upset that he took the shot and everything and made across the line. And does that hurt Ospreay's career going forward when you do want to sign with WWE?
It could.
But why not do it on the same platform or on the same type of platform? You said this especially with like the Bucks footage of, well, Tony, you were on Ariel's show. Why didn't you say anything then? Why are you taking, they didn't take time out of, if you feel slighted, they didn't take time from WWE programming to go out of their way and mention it. Why are you taking time out of your program to go out of your way and mention it?
Yeah, and I feel like right now it's like death by 1,000 cuts, Nick. Like I feel like the WWE is just poking and poking. Even Punk's tweet last night. Even Forbes is taking shots at AEW.
That was great,
wasn't it? Forbes.
I literally had to make sure it wasn't somebody doing a Photoshop and everything.
Right.
Forbes that's out there covering millionaires and billionaires is out there saying CM Punk went over Jack Perry last night on AEW Dynamite.
Right. So I mean, again, it's just it's we talk about Mania weekend and everyone comes out of that and we're talking about this new era and new champions and records and records and records, and we're going here and we're going there. Can't wait to get to France. All this really amazing news, all these videos coming out of emotional moments, and it just feels like everything coming out of the AEW camp is negative, not good. You got Bubba Ray out there fucking offering to take, I'll help for free. Like that's how desperate the shit is getting. But nothing good seems to be coming out of AEW right now.
They're both emotional moments. One is an emotional moment for all of about like 3 people, and the other one's an emotional moment for about 3 billion people. So that's the difference.
True. Let's quickly say hi to the chat, and then we'll get back into it. I know there's more to uncover, but listen, man. From start to finish, I thought the show struggled.
Did you ever have a thought?
I taught a putty cat.
You thought you think?
I taught a putty cat.
Well, no, we did in that footage. They showed. I saw a couple putty cats.
Right. My favorite part of the whole footage was Malachi Black, just wandering around like he was like, oh, this is fucked. They just kept walking.
Well, and again, Samoa Joe, the way he handled that situation, even Jerry Lynn and Chris Hero. Now, granted, Chris Hero, I feel sorry for the man. That man,
the man was distraught,
living it.
Yeah.
But you can tell who are adults and have been in situations like that and understand. These are grown human beings, and Punk never once, I think, really said I was completely, unabsolved of error or anything like that.
No.
He knew he was in the wrong just as much as anybody else. But you saw how adults handled that situation, and you saw how people who had never been in that situation handled it. Because I was looking for the guy fearing for his life. By the way.
I wanted to see the fearing for the life part, and again, you saw him lunge in that direction. And
but was TK over there though? This is the fucking Zapruder film. This is goddamn the grassy knoll.
You're right, down into the right. Shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is something they should have let go. They got to move past it. We're gonna move past it for a moment,
right?
And talk to the chat. But I mean, again, it blew up. This is blown up. It's gone everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. And other than a handful of just very narrow-minded, blinders on, not really paying attention group of people, everybody across the board is like, what the fuck?
I will say this last thing before we actually get to the chat. I know we keep teasing it and still never get to it.
We're just teasing.
Right. But every wound that AEW has befallen has been self-inflicted.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. See money, good to see WWE. We broke records this week. AEW, we broke our company this week.
I'm sorry, I broke it in your toy.
Yeah, I broke it in it. Yeah, oops. Joe, good to see you. Looking forward to PCO and Con. PCO and Con. I know, sorry, TNA. News happens. But we are getting a Monsters Ball match between Big Con, and PCO. Jordan Grace and D-Lander are going to sign a contract for their match coming up at Rebellion. We got lots going on, and trust me, I'm working through it.
It's a struggle. You're boxing your tongue right now. I can tell.
Right. Looking forward to Moose and Trent Seven. Another match on tonight. So that'll be a good one. Good to see you, Damien. Christopher back in the house. How are you? See money, Christopher. Josh, what channel does that come on? YouTube. We watch it on YouTube, Josh.
Perfect timing, because I was literally about to mention that, because it is 8:20 right now and everything. Excuse me. So we watch it on YouTube's TNA Wrestling's YouTube membership thing and everything, which, by the way, we have a membership too. But we watch it through there. So it starts at about 8:30. There are no commercial breaks. Granted, it made me worry earlier if they were late as ever to pull up the streamer tonight. So yeah.
We'll come back to that, Damien. 8:19. Yeah. And like I said, I was very surprised to see Tony put out a tweet of like, yay, us. It's not a brag. It's not a brag.
Well, and you did it in front of 2,000-3,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Not for nothing, and I know this is still a little apples to oranges, but you have people talking about WWE might go permanently to the smaller set and the smaller stage setup and everything to accommodate larger crowds. Meanwhile, Arthur Ashe is no longer going to be holding Forbidden Door. It's been moved across the highway here, because we can't sell out the building anymore. We can't put asses in seats, Shivani.
Dankin. CM Pathetic has no more credibility. He has tons of credibility, and the small pocket of people that think he don't are not paying attention. He has all the credibility within the company he works for. He has all the credibility from his supporters, his fans. He has all the credibility from the people who watched the footage that we watched last night and synced it up. There's reporters out there. There's lots of places that were covering wrestling that showed what he said and exactly what. Somebody tried to tell me today, he said Jungle Boy was the aggressor and da-da-da. He didn't say any of that. It was almost verbatim what we saw.
And that's why it's been this gigantic snafu and everything. And again, if he was right about this, so then what else was he right about?
Oh, yeah. And again, the juicier one is, you know what, Tony? You want to have some balls, Tony Khan? You want to have some balls, Young Bucks? Take the NDA off Brawl Out. Let's put that one on the table. You want to be petty? You want to look backwards? You want to bring up the old past and try and use it in an angle? Take the NDA off Brawl Out. Let's know.
No, that'll just blow up in the face again.
That's it. And that's why, like Punk said, I didn't sign an NDA to protect me.
But again, we've said this, and I will go back to moving on into the chat, but move the fuck on from this. If it's taken 8 years, move the fuck on.
Right. Punk did attack him as far as he was the first one to act. He was the only one to act physically. And listen, we're not, and we talked about this, we don't condone you just beating up your coworkers. However, we do know that sometimes shit gets heated. And if a smarmy little schmuck wants to run his mouth, sometimes you're going to F around and you're going to find out. And I know some of the softer snowflakey ones out there are going to be like, oh my God, but you can't do that. Yeah, you can, because you can't just run your mouth. Now, I don't know what Jack said, and I'm not condoning Punk. Punk was the adult in that situation, should have handled it better. But he pushed him and choked him a little bit. Again,
we're not condoning actions. We're just explaining actions, and this was an attempt to discredit actions that clearly didn't happen. And yeah, there's charts out there in case you don't know about it. That if you want to, I can surely link you to it, to where if you fuck around enough, you will find out. It seems to be less common with people that use Twitter and everything like that they don't know about that whole fuck around and find out scale. But you can learn. You can learn.
You can learn quick. What's up, Richie? How you doing? Money Dinkins doesn't have the capacity. We'll keep it above. Keep it a buck. Keep it above the waist. Let's go.
Right. Sorry, I mean, even Punk kept it above the waist. He just shoved the man and choked him. Right. So he kept it above the waist.
What's up, Christopher? Again, good to see you. Good to see you. Brandon, welcome back. Dixie Carter greater than Tony Khan. Ouch. This came up last night.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Are they neck and fucking neck?
No, him and Russo. You have the pro versus the bro. That's what you've got right now. It is Tony Khan versus Vince Russo for worst booker of lifetime.
Yeah, it's not going well. I have no idea. Again, do you think they sat around when they came up with this idea and then they were like, man, this is so going to work. Like, this is going to prove what a asshole this guy is. Everyone's going to turn on him. What is that what they thought?
Yes, because these people, much like a lot of it is almost halfway this I dare say, cult mentality here. And again, I think if there's a source or a resource to talk about it from an objective point of view of we're here calling anything and everything. We're here tonight watching TNA. Last night you were here watching Dynamite. We're here watching the Raw After Meeting. We're going to still be here watching 2 shows on Friday here. We watch anything and everything, whether it's good, bad, or not. We sit there and even say, if the wrestling may suck, we never do. So to sit there and you just live in this echo chamber of what has to be good. This has to, everybody loves this, right? Everything's amazing. There is no fault. There is nothing wrong. So they never thought that this was going to get the backlash that it did. That's why you're seeing, you can very clearly now at this point tell your wrestling journalists that are shilling out to sit there and have access to people, to sit there and have a media pass, so it makes them feel cool because they weren't cool in any sort of school.
Well, yeah,
to sit there and take pictures backstage and what have you, because they're trying to run a fucking defensive operation here because this blew all the way up.
It's just so funny. It's like watching, like when one of your boys is drunk and is like, I'm going to go fix this. And you know he's heading into like an electrical box, or you just see all the dangers and red flags. And everybody there is like, don't do it. We all saw it coming. And they're like, no, I'm good. Got it. And
yeah, but I feel like at this point, we're kind of just like, all right, well, you haven't listened to us before. So now you're just kind of holding people back. Like, fuck it. Let him do it. This is how you learn. This is how you learn.
Could this be rock bottom for AEW that forces them to course correct?
If it isn't, I'm fearful.
Where does it go from here?
Well, that's the thing is we've talked about this, and again, we want AEW to succeed. This is not a tap dancing on tombstones or anything like that. This is, we want you to do better. We know you can do better. Please do better. Why won't you do better? I'm waiting for this dude, Tony Khan, to sit there and do that sad cry, that cry from addicted and everything like that. Like, we want you to do better, but if you ain't gonna listen, it's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets any bit better.
Yeah, no shit. Good to see you, Marvin. Thank you. We appreciate all the love. I see all the love popping up. Sherry, good to see you. What's good? Richard, Stoner Jesus, I think we got you. Bash 8 back in the house. Mike's with us. Welcome. Jason, we'll come back around to that.
That's interesting. I did see this a little bit.
Oh, okay.
They had, so spoiler alert, granted, I took it from Ringside News, so take that with what you will. But I saw a screenshot of him putting out there of apparently WWE's Twitter account just put out hello like 10,000 times and then deleted it. Well, and again, we saw them fuck with the footage. It's been doing everything, off screen. Now it's maybe going to start moving towards on screen.
Right. Thank you. KJ looks like himself. I'm not myself, but
You're a special little snowflake there, KJ. That's why you got white in your last name.
It's facts, and white in the beard. Clearly, Punk is living rent free in all of their minds. It's not just Punk. It's the WWE. Like, it literally, you are so vain that somebody made an innocuous generalization, and you had to go on TV because it had to be about you. It could have been about Okada. Could have been about Sasha Banks. Could have been about FTR. By the way, Sasha Banks might be the worst actress in the history of all.
Oh, no, she is.
That was awful. He could have been talking about any number of people that have Jay White, who recently turned down the WWE. Again, your guys are getting your panties in the bunch, and the other team's not even fighting you. They're just toying with you.
But that's the thing, is they're living rent, like Keyshawn just said right there. Shout out to Prediction Champion, living rent free here. That's the thing. You can't let the haters live rent free in your head. My shit's high end real estate. You can't afford the rent to fucking live rent, to live in my head here. That's the shit you need to have going into this. Instead of being this, you're a multi-billionaire upon billionaire, Tony Khan, and you're letting CM Punk forever mentally scar you that he lives rent free in your head constantly. He's the Nelson Muntz to AEW.
Yes, and Impact is about to start any second now, folks.
I got it right now as we're just brawling between Hammerstone and Josh Alexander.
Here we go. I'm looking forward to the comeback between these two.
Right.
Chuck and Security. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about the wrestling Impact Wrestling will be on as well. The chapeau that runs the show should be stopping by to say hello. But yeah, lots going on.
Right. I like the bars you spit there, sir. But yeah, shout out Luigi. And speaking of the devil, name out up here. Yeah, Wrestling for Life podcast is the best podcast on YouTube. Absolutely. And again, I know again, some other people want to wear AW hoodies and then cut whole promos in their real car instead of their fake car and everything about how AW's finally jumped the shark of, no, we've been telling y'all the warning signs coming down the railroad tracks. Y'all didn't want to listen. And so now you just got ran over by that bullshit train.
Well, what I kind of took it a little personal from certain people out there of like, we're the only ones saying this forever. And it was like, whoa. Just because you didn't hear us saying it doesn't mean we haven't been preaching it for a while.
You're right. Just because we were hating on, not hating. We were telling the truth about them earlier.
Right.
And everything. You took it as hating. And then you turn around and, blocked us.
I didn't get blocked because I agreed. I was agreeable. So let's be real.
Exactly.
But speaking of being real, without further ado, the chapeau that runs the Brady Bunch show.
I was going to say, and the shuffleboard that runs.
What is up? How you guys doing?
How's it going?
Not much. I just saw TNA kicked off with a huge brawl.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. Like they're not wasting any time tonight.
Right.
Oh, Alexander's got a bit of color there on it. Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Hammerstone's been really good in this feud. As is,
he
like,
really has. Yeah.
TNA.
I think this is perfect for Hammerstone with Josh Alexander probably leaving, at the beginning of next year, making him go right at it with Josh Alexander.
Absolutely. And Dreamer comes out to literally drag Alexander to the back, but he's got a mic. So is Dreamer like the new GM?
That's what it's looking like.
He's the new Scotty, is he?
Well, I mean, he's out here in a 76ers shirt and everything. Man showed up in his Top Gear for today. Freshly rolled out of bed.
Do I have to give my Ava speech on Tommy Dreamer because he's dressed like a teenager?
Yes, you do. Equality.
Fair. Right?
But
come on, Tommy. Dress like the job you got. Come on now. Superman, thank you so much for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it. If you could change things in AEW, what would it be? The guy in charge. The company lacks leadership. You guys.
Does he actually need to change, or he needs to distance himself?
There has to be someone else.
That's the biggest thing of, even if it's not him, somebody needs to be running the ship there. That is not hanging out in locker rooms, that is not buddy, that is not hanging out, going to, talents' weddings, shit like that. You have to separate yourself from the boys. Christ, we're watching TNA. I've heard many people talk about Scott D'Amore would walk that line of he'd come and hang out with the boys at the bar after the show and everything, but he'd leave before anything shit really kicked off or anything. I'm sure Triple H is the same way. He'll be back there and, great job. But he's still Triple H. He's still got to be the boss. You still got to, like you keep saying, even with Ava, and we were saying with Tommy, you got to act like the boss. You earn your stripes and you earn your respect as being the boss. You're not one of the boys. You're the boss.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. I mean, it was just too much last night. It was too much for me. I was like, you know what? The video, okay, and then when Ospreay came out, I was like, wait a minute. We can't have this back to back like we just did. And it was just like, I did turn it off. I was like, you know what? I'm binge watching Fear the Walking Dead, so I'm gonna go back and watch Fear the Walking Dead. That's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. And Tony needs to, like, if I could change anything about the company right now, it would just be the fact of a figurehead, somebody in charge with authority that's willing to look at a wrestler with a big ego and a big attitude and say, tough shit, this is what we're doing. Right. Tony can be the guy at the very top that if some things need to filter through, fine. If he needs to give a thumbs up on some ideas, fine.
Right.
But clearly, based on last night, previous nights we've had, he is not mature enough and able to run a company of this stature. He just does not have the capabilities.
Well, And again, I know we're supposed to be talking TNA because Tommy Dreamer's out here cutting a promo and everything, but could AEW, and I'll say survive, they're always going to monetarily survive as long as Tony Khan's willing to write a check. They're always going to monetarily survive. That he'll be holding on a fucking video recorder out of his backyard for all he gives a shit. But with that fan base, if they actually went to that leadership that, you know, tries to actually treat this seriously and moves away from this, because we've seen that core audience just get, you know, more and more compounded of, you know, don't touch my AEW. Do you run the risk of you alienate all of those fans? You alienate your base if you go the other way and actually try and treat this seriously and treat this like how things actually should be done.
Do you not think but they're getting to such low numbers in that hardcore base? There's more wrestling fans that aren't in the base than that are. So cater to the bigger population.
We've been saying this though for months, for goddamn a year plus at this point, and they continue to just cater more and more to the smaller and smaller base, and if anything, divide their base upon itself. So that's
and also with
the conundrum. Yeah, it's literally we'll divide it. Think about it. We literally mentioned earlier they've gone from Arthur Ashe to where that was, you know, where you had the first Grand Slam and everything. They were selling out the building. Now we're going to have Forbidden Door there, and they have to move venues because they can't sell enough tickets to justify it. Wow, Hammerstone with the torture rack on.
Yeah,
Tommy Dreamer.
Transition. There you go. But yeah, Hammerstone up in the air. Tommy Dreamer up in the air. Thanks to Hammerstone.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's a stipulation. I think they're fighting at Rebellion. I don't know if there's a stipulation on this match just yet.
I don't know either. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leave. Highlander rules. There can only be one Alexander.
Right. There you go. A lot of love for Anthony.
What is up? What is up, chat?
Bobby Turner saying Shelton Benjamin. Rumors that he's might pop up somewhere.
Please, TNA. Please, TNA. Don't go to the dumpster fire. Don't go to the dumpster fire.
All right, so there's the stipulation. There's the stipulation. Last man standing at Rebellion.
Oh, it's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Hey, 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
There you go. There you go. Last man standing, Josh Alexander Hammerstone. April 420. We will be here live.
Yes, we will. That's going to be a good show because I think we got Jordan Grace versus Steph D. Lander. So there's some matches building up for Rebellion.
Absolutely. Oh, now we're getting the opening video. There you go. That's interesting. AEW needs to hire Scott D'Amore. Mr. Anthony, you grab that one first.
No, TNA needs to bring Scott D'Amore back. No, if Scott D'Amore goes anywhere, he doesn't need to be in the mix of AEW. Go on to WWE and let your creative juices flow there in WWE. Because as long as Tony Khan is still going to be in charge, he's not going to listen to anybody else.
That's the biggest issue. Well, I just thought of something. Well, I thought of something while how you even put out. We just got the video package for TNA. Would you have not started Dynamite with the video package just cold open? You just start with this is what happened at All In and everything. You don't need a segue or anything like that. Hey, you're carrying over your audience from fucking Big Bang or whatever, Third Rock from the Sun. Who gives a sugar honey iced tea? But yeah, you're carrying it over and then you address it afterwards.
Well, I think they felt like they needed to explain why they were showing the footage. They had to tie it into that bullshit loop.
Yeah, normally when you fuck up, you need to explain why you fucked up.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I think they really have to. That's what their hope was. Like, it's going to be so cool because we're going to tie it into our angle, and we're going to imply that FTR planned the whole thing. Like, they went over to Punk and were like, "Fuck up Perry for us,"
which didn't really make sense at all because if. Just hindsight, if they were involved, if FTR were involved, they should have been in the video, right? If you're going to play this up to a storyline, they should have been in the video. I understand this was a real fight. So if this was an actual real fight and FTR was involved, FTR should have been in the video. This does not move the storyline at all. So
no, not at all. It was silliness. And I think people see through it. And because it's very I think one of the sentiments that are going around, childish, immature, to them, this is like, oh, it would be awesome. This is going to be awesome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's childish and silly. And most of the wrestling fans see through it.
Right. Absolutely.
What did they accomplish from this at all? Like taking it now, arguably 24 hours after the fact, as we're getting Crazy Steve versus, Laredo Kid. And I do kind of honestly wish at least AW, if you're going to have your dream matches and everything, have the, the fight fats, the fight bits and everything that Impact does, to where it gives you at least a couple little notes or whatever. So it gives you at least 10 seconds to be invested into why this is going on versus, just name versus name. But what did they win? What was accomplished? What was a positive gain from them showing that last night?
Jack Perry is now the #1 merch seller in AEW.
They only printed 5 shirts, so it's not hard to sell out 5 shirts.
This game,
and they were all in fucking 5XL for some reason.
I said it last night. 100%. Jack Perry is helping the Young Bucks win the titles at Dynasty. 100%.
He's the shield for the Young Bucks of, well, I took the shot to get rid of the cancerous, tumultuous CM Punk. They did lead heavy to, well, also from California. They were praising, and even they came out the week before of, hey, Jungle Boy, or Jack Perry, scapegoat, love your work. I keep wanting to always call him Jungle Boy.
Right.
I just like that team.
What's up, KJ, Nick, and Anthony? You saw what I did not see MJF's tweet on Instagram. That seems a little interesting.
I did not know you can tweet on Instagram. That's news to me.
I have not.
Is that called Threads? I think that's called Threads.
A lot of people are really upset about the mission accomplished post by Punk, and I thought it was genius.
Was that the photo that Punk? Okay. Yeah, I kind of missed that.
No, like, what's there to be accomplished? Like, what's there to be bad about? Like, it's literally apropos and fitting of, like, you just now made somebody who used to work for you to where you could have made your company money. You could have done this whole story in your company and made one of the biggest angles in probably pro wrestling history. And now you want to take pot shots once he's away.
Yeah, like I said, in the opening of the show, Nick, Dusty Rhodes had a rule. You do not promo somebody you cannot get in the ring with. You are wasting your time.
I literally hadn't heard that, or if I had, I completely forgot it. But that's spot on. That is the best comparable with this. Of you got a guy in another company more over than any talent you have on your current roster.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely.
Well, it's like Osprey cuts a promo on Triple H. They're not wrestling anytime soon. But by the way, you got Daniel Bryan. I know you threw him in there at the end, but
did he? I must have missed that.
I let him see. Point proven, right? And the same thing with the Bucks. Like the Bucks, Jack Perry. We're not going to get a Jack Perry CM Punk rematch unless it happens in WWE.
But did anything out of that? Did it sell an extra ticket to Dynasty? Did it make anybody out here, anyone that can hear the sound of my voice, do you want to spend $50 to watch an AEW pay-per-view next Sunday because of what you saw last night on Dynamite? Because the most I've heard is most people don't want to watch AEW point blank period past last Dynamite, let alone pay $50 to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Even diehards, man.
I did see a lot of diehards saying that last night.
Right now, Crazy Steve in control of Laredo Kid, folks. We are rolling along. Oh, sorry, Anthony.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
I was just saying we are rolling along. Make sure you get in that chat. Keep going. I see 70 hanging out with us tonight. But we're back tomorrow for SmackDown and Rampage as well. Lots to talk about. But you were saying, sir.
Yes, this match is for the Digital Media Championship. I don't expect Laredo Kid to win, but I don't know. TNA likes to throw surprises in there. So Laredo Kid could pull out the victory, but I got Crazy Steve winning this one.
Ditto.
Well, perfect transition of, I'll say, if you haven't given us your prediction for this match, make sure you let us know below. I think we're probably Crazy Steve all the way around here, I assume.
Yeah, Steve's not losing, and I love what they've done with Steve. He's really come into his own since leaving Decay. So
he's not crazy Steve anymore. He's just Swoley Steve. Like this
Swoley
man is on that same diet that AJ Styles and Randy Orton have been on.
Right.
He did a complete 180 late last year, and it turned for the better for Crazy Steve. So I'm really enjoying where the direction they're going with Crazy Steve.
Absolutely. I miss MJF with every fiber of my being, Nick.
Oh, we want some Maxwell. Oh, absolutely. And at this point, if you really are weighing that, and I'm sure, you'd be a fool to, let MJF not be already signed to a deal. But then again, you'd be a fool to air that, all-in footage on your television show. So, I mean, call a spade a spade. Yeah. But so if I'm MJF and I'm looking at where I could go, and because there's been talks of, like, say, a Hook has wanted to test free agency. Now do you start to see the marks and the smart marks, fan base and roster, start to abandon ship? The ship's going down, and there ain't no fucking captain aboard this ship. So do we start heading for the hills here?
Well, based on what I saw today, there's some people that will never get off that train.
That's a cult. That's a cult. That's what that is.
Like Dave Koresh didn't have this much fucking loyalty.
Exactly. We've had the Manson family. Now we got the Khan family.
Yeah, some people are definitely the orchestra for the Titanic. They're in for the long haul. They're going down. But yeah, I still think you chop into that percentage, and then the piece of the pie that represents not a fan of AEW anymore is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Significant chunk. Sorry, Anthony.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying a sentence.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that with all this basically happening last night, it does kind of leave you in like suspended animation of what could happen with the other superstars behind the scenes. Are they going to potentially walk, when their contracts are up? I don't know. Two folks on AEW, their reaction really was telling last night. One of them was Tony Schiavone, and the other one was Renee Paquette. Yeah. Like when he made that statement about Triple H, like her face, I really felt bad for her because it was like she was standing in an awkward moment right there. So I really felt bad for her. And Tony Schiavone, yeah, he was like, his face was like, what did I get myself into again?
All I could think of when I saw both of them was just, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Tony's thinking, what? Oh, not again. I've been here before.
Had that 1,000-yard stare. Just
right.
Shit. Well, and that's the thing is, if you on anything I was trying to do to find a clip of Tony Schiavone or even talking about the butts and seats, all I could think of is, or I could pull up was Tony Schiavone saying, and Vince Russo strikes again. And it felt so apropos.
Son of a bitch. Superman, thank you for the super chat again. We appreciate the generosity and the support for the channel. Do you think that the issue with CM Punk could be on the level of the Montreal screw job? From a standpoint of impact, like on the overall company? Yeah, because it's burying the company. I mean, the similarity for me, guys, is remember how many wrestlers were mad at Vince for doing it? When it came out that, it was a plan. Guys like Undertaker, Mick Foley quit. Right. So I wonder, and I think, Anthony, you just touched on this. What is the trickle down effect to the wrestlers in the building? What other wrestlers are thinking, shit, if I get in an altercation or something happens between me and so-and-so, when will they use that against me, whether it's footage or just rumors to Meltzer? When is that shoe going to flip if I'm on the wrong side of the argument?
It becomes this whole, we talked about it with FTR of how much was that making chicken shit out of chicken salad, or was that genuine opinions of this is what we're doing now, this is what we're doing to draw ratings, this is what we're doing to fucking try and draw attention here. So then why there's probably a few people there that instantly regret that they signed any sort of long-term deal with AEW.
Right.
Because that's the thing is, even you have, good old Tuna Meltzer there, saying that I've heard from sources that, there wasn't a strong contingent, or there was discourse or, distension backstage of why are we showing this. We even talked about you hearing conflicting reports of, was it so-and-so's idea or was it so-and-so's idea to actually do this and everything. So this feels like a locker room that's collapsing in on itself a bit.
Right. I just want to take a quick pause for a second. Laredo Kid just got disqualified in this match. So I'm not sure if they're gonna push this to Rebellion, but he has the digital media championship in hand. So
how do you get disqualified in a digital media match? Do you not tweet enough? Do you not do the Drew McIntyre and Stockman match to take a tweet?
Well, he attacked the ref, so that's how he got disqualified in this match. Match, but we can go back to that. I just wanted to point that out.
No, you're good. Trust me, we are trying to watch Impact. It's just this and Titanic. It's the Titanic hitting an iceberg of AEW. I feel
right.
They're showing both men in their respective cells as they have been in solitary for 24 hours. By the way, that's PCO and Big Con. PCO, of course, in on his usual bed, being electrified. So. Here we go.
Yeah, this is just how PCO sleeps.
Right. And I know like this is like recorded, but some PCO tweeted out that the Monsters Ball match was tonight. Someone saw it and was like, aren't you supposed to be without your phone in hiding until the match happens?
Gotta keep that kayfabe alive, brother.
Right.
Todd, what up, my guy? Hey, yo.
Hey, you.
I want to spin it this here as we're getting a halfway against all odds out of any positives, to take out of AEW Dynamite last night.
It can't get any worse.
I enjoyed the opening.
No, it could.
I enjoyed the opening match. That was a positive between Edge and Penta. I thought that was really good. I thought, the crowd was really into it. And then I liked after the match that next week we'll have Edge and Willow teaming together. So I might next week tune into that. We'll see. But I did like the opener. The opener was cool.
Yeah, screw a scapegoat shirt. I need a Murder Chicken Hawks t-shirt.
There you go. No, and there was a little bit of controversy that came out of that first match. Some people were putting around, some people reported some of the language that was being used by Penta wasn't appreciated by some. And the mics clearly picked it up for TV. I didn't catch it, but it is out there. So that's
no hable español.
Right. Anything else positive about the show? No, it was really bad. Sasha Banks. No, Anthony.
It ended. That's positive. It ended.
That Mercedes Moné segment, was that not god awful? Was that was like Bar Rescue, Saved by the Bell, NXT, Rainbow Brand type shit?
The only thing I saw was like the very end where she was laying on the ground moaning. So I didn't see the whole segment. So I really can't speak on it, but that moaning part was a bit too much. I can at least say
that sums her up in one sentence. That was a bit too much. Absolutely. 100% with everything like that. Yes, Matt Tubes and you out there get me. Yeah, I eventually ended. That's the best positive with AEW last night, is that it ended. Because good God, was that a slog.
It was horrid. And again, she's such a natural heel that when she's like, even when they started the interview and she was like, hey, it was like instantly like, you're a heel. This does not work.
Speaking of things that don't work, I have First Class coming out right now.
I couldn't even talk about this in my my preview video. I was like, we got AJ Francis and Rich Swann as a tag team, and like I'm not really into it. Like what is this?
I don't think Rich Swann, who's in the group, is into it. Like, that's the thing. There's people actively participating in this that aren't into it. So why are we supposed to be into it?
Right. And the ironic side of things is I loved Rich Swann's entrance. I loved it.
Now I'm out here like Adam Sandler. Stop looking at me, Swann.
Right. As they are going to take on ABC.
Bro, I'm amazed that AJ Francis, top dollar, flop dollar, hasn't gone to AEW because he fit very much in that whole philosophy that they have over there of just willing to talk into any open mic that's live or anything, of just, I'll say some shit. Doesn't have to be accurate, but I'll just say some shit to say some shit.
Right.
You got a book deal coming out that I don't know about.
Right.
Gonna be AJ, Ronda, and Becky out there competing for, shelf space on the bookstores.
Does the Monsters Ball isolation room have an electrical outlet? They ran in a cord just for PCO.
Generator runs on maple syrup because it's Canadian.
Just for PCO to send out that one tweet.
Right. More money, less work. Yeah, that's a whole different debate. Jade is a better heel. Jade's just better.
No, Craig's talking about, well, I'm interpreting this much like Ospreay interpreted, a certain statement and everything with the more money, less work. That's the thing, is that's all Triple H said. He wasn't talking about anybody specific. It could have been Okada, like you said. It could have been Jay White. It could have been Mercedes, who's worked with them before. And that could have been why that talk fell through. But certain people backstage got to get all up in their feels. And especially, I think that there's a vibe in that locker room that if you get all up in your feels, you're going to get gaslit you're going to go and say some dumb shit on national TV. And then you're going to look like a dumb shit on national TV.
He really didn't, in all honesty, direct that statement to anybody in AEW. That was a generalized statement. I mean, I know there could be,
but if you're looking to be offended, you're going to be offended.
Right. If you're looking to be offended, you're going to be offended.
If you're looking to be offended, you're going to be offended.
Right, but what I was going to say is, if they didn't have a potential working relationship with TNA, it could have been somebody in TNA.
Yeah,
it could have been somebody in the Indies. It could have been somebody anywhere, and I guess Ospreay was just offended, and he had to say something.
Yeah, it's a little vain. We said, I mean, at the end of the day, I bet you think this song's about you. Yeah, clearly. And I think that's my issue with it was, there's actually been 4, 5, 6 wrestlers that chose AEW over WWE recently. Adam Copeland listed them all off. Triple H could have been talking about any one of them. But like you said, general statement of, at the end of the day, if you're not here for the grind, well, then we don't want you. We want hungry athletes, not looking for the easy out. I didn't think that was insulting to anybody unless you fit the bill.
That's how you know, though, that you probably self-consciously maybe start to question yourself a little bit when somebody says some shit and it ain't directed at your ass, but you take it directed at you. That's the thing. That's really what it was. Of like, he didn't say nothing directly about you, but you took it that way. So that's on you, not on him. But we do have ABC 1, 2, 3 taking on First Class Jack Harlow here in a tag team match.
There you go. Rich Swann and Joe Hendry announced for Rebellion. How are we feeling about this one?
Which I'm trying to confirm.
But I believe in Joe Hendry.
Right. If it is confirmed, I'm definitely going with Joe Hendry. You don't bet against Joe Hendry.
Should be a good match.
I mean, Joe Hendry versus Roman Reigns, and I'd be conflicted and constricted of who I would need to pick over in that match here.
Oh, this is a good question. I was waiting for you to click on it, but I didn't realize SmackDown was in Detroit until I mentioned Motor City Machine Guns to one of my buddies, and he was like, "They could have saved that. They could save their debut for SmackDown." And I was like, "Well, where is SmackDown?" He was like, "It's in Detroit." And I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. You want a big pop for the Motor City Machine Guns? SmackDown is it tomorrow night."
Not a bad show. A lot of people think potentially going to AEW still, but at the end of the day, it sounds nice, and they could use them.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the splitting of the tag team championships, oh, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time.
I mean, they've got to split them. You've got to build a tag team division. So if there's a time and an opportunity.
Yeah, the time and the opportunity is now.
But now, do they lock into a long-term deal or anything like that with WWE, or is this just a, hey, we're in Detroit, SmackDown after Mania because Raw after Mania maybe might have not been so good? I know, controversial statements in KJ White's, but it could have Monday Night Raw after Mania not been quite so good, so maybe we get a huge pop or a huge surprise, or even just a one-off of the Motor City Machine Guns. I think if you're going to bring them in, you got to do them more than once, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not even sure if WWE is in the books of doing one-offs, like with talent that is not signed. So if they come in, it's definitely going to be a I don't want to say long-term deal, but it'd be a deal in place for multiple dates.
2, maybe 3 years, depending on how they feel about it. But
Right.
yeah, I don't see them doing like, they're not TNA where you come this weekend and then we'll see you some other time, okay?
Yeah, but I can see them even doing literally just like a 1-year deal, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, it'd be interesting if they did a 1-year deal because it'd be the transition through Netflix, because that's going to be the thing going forward of shaking everything up with WWE. We've got the draft coming up. We've got Netflix coming up. We've got CW coming up. We've got this, that, and the third coming up.
Well, and again, you talk about that transition. We talk about what's happening with Triple H, and we see he's implementing WWE speed. He hasn't shied away from.
Does anyone know the results of that? By the way, sorry.
From yesterday, no, actually, I didn't see yesterday's.
I think it's kind of like Gargano and somebody.
JD McDonough advanced. Who else advanced? JD McDonough defeats Axiom, and I don't know who the other match was.
Well, I mean, the guy that moves in slow motion on a show called Speed, I mean, it might be a little contradictory, but yeah.
Right.
Oh, it looks like it was, unless this was the first week, Cedric Alexander versus Bronson Reed.
That was week 1.
That was week 1. Okay, so it doesn't look like it was another match.
So just one this week?
Yeah, it was just one.
Right. Smart psychology podcast. Psycho female blowing up my phone line. There we go.
What do you guys think about WWE wrestlers being able to do GCW shows? Well, and we didn't even catch this with Baby Regal there, Dempsey, excuse me, bringing up GCW on NXT and everything like that, to where he talked about his involvement a bit with Bloodsport. He was sharing campfire stories.
Yeah, and it wasn't mentioned by name, GCW, but Shayna Baszler was interviewed during the Hall of Fame, and the interviewer did mention her wrestling a match earlier in the week for another company. So it's definitely what is his name? Nick Khan is definitely working some stuff up with working with other companies, which I'm excited to see.
Well, that's what it's all about, is this growth and acquisitions. We hear the conversations about TNA and WWE. We saw what happened with GCW. I love it. I think I want more of it. It's one of the things where it's another one of those angles where people, AEW kind of had a monopoly on that for a while. Now it's changing a little.
Right.
Well, and it's super interesting, and I know the landscape's a bit different here, and I'll say this because before I maybe take a pause here. But is it a little bit like with Nick Khan, with Triple H and everything, much like how the NBA's very much put some development into the G League and expansion overseas and everything like that, and you have the NFL now getting involved in the UFL under Dwayne and all of that. You have these titans of, I guess, sports that are really showing that, hey, maybe if we expand to these other markets and we expand to the smaller markets that maybe we can't reach quite as well, and use that as, a root system, a branch system to build up here, it does nothing but help them and help us here. Like, that's the thing is, Tony Khan, if you doing business with him, if you're New Japan, so what do I got to offer you? Well, if you have a fight backstage, I'll air it on my show. Meanwhile, WWE is like, yeah, well, we can pack out your show and we'll send you talent and we'll make it a priority. And it won't even be our top of the line talent, but it'll be the biggest shit you've ever done. And we'll have that carryover.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, this match breaking down a little bit. A lot of people, a little bit of love for AJ in this one. Looking good tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid match. At one point, AJ had both of them, one on his shoulders and the other one between his arms,
The
and did a wasteland.
Double super kick.
That was intense. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. But I will hit the thing and I will be go, go, go.
I feel bad for dogging this match earlier in my head.
Right.
I definitely feel bad about dogging this match earlier in my head. Like, now you got Chris Bay flying all over the ring.
Back and forth for sure.
Yeah.
Anthony. Rich. Oh, no. There goes Bay. Down goes Francis. Real Wyatt, I'll just let you know and all that. I'll remind everybody else out there. We are watching TNA Impact on YouTube. We go commercial free, starts a little bit later, so it's a little behind, but finishes at the same time. So
by the time you get to the main event, we will be at the main event.
There you go. So yes, no spoilers, folks.
Oh, Joe Hendry is coming out after Rich Swann stole the victory. I still got to get with Rich Swann as a heel, though. It's not connecting with me.
It's a bit of a fight. It's a bit of a fight. Nick Khan is smarter. Yeah, he's definitely doing well.
The sane Khan doing great business.
Right.
I guess this is when the match is going to be set up for Rebellion.
Another person saying Scott D'Amore backstage at AEW. Chambers, welcome back.
And now he's rapping the the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
No way. Look, guys, we're up to no good. I had a fight with Joe Hendry and the world stood still. Called him Uncle Phil.
Yep, and they're now chanting Uncle Phil. This is hilarious.
Joe is too good to be true. Spoiler, KJ and Anthony, chocolate and potato chips are good together.
I know.
Rich, true, KJ. Where's all the CMLL guys on the show? They had passport issues. Like 20 of them.
All right, so yep, it's made official at Rebellion. Joe Hendry versus Swann. This is gonna be good. And Wyatt, we do not watch on YouTube TV. It's just on regular YouTube. There's a subscription for 99 cents where you can watch all of the weekly shows. You can upgrade to $4.99 and you can get all the weekly shows and the monthly specials. True. Now I should work for TNA since I'm promoting their stuff. So
there you go. Santino with Ash by Elegance.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. So they're trying to spin the 8-4-1 match?
It sounds like it. In fact,
Like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, clearly.
Nope, that's not how this goes.
Santino was like, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. No, the magic.
The magic.
And Nick is back.
How fitting though that Ash by elegance, walks off and everything like that with the good Hobie George and everything like that, and I just happened to appear. No coincidence at all. Nothing to do with that at all.
So Ash by Elegance trying to warm her way into this match like I was the participant in the 8-4-1 match, but you didn't compete. So, it doesn't work like that.
Shit. I mean, if it works on the other show, there's nothing involving FTR, but you're gonna turn around and make it, about FTR. I mean, shit works.
Oh, they got new TNA action figures. That's neat.
Can I respectfully say, well, I'm struggling even to say respectfully, didn't know that TNA had action figures.
I think they're just announcing action figures.
I don't
think they had them before.
Enough.
I know they had
it was an ongoing thing.
Right. I think they had Slam Buddies. I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah.
Well, that's, I think, called Friends with Benefits. I think that's normally the non-wrestling fan term for it. Is Slam Buddies is normally called Friends with Benefits. But, Johnny's saying, "Sub KJ and Nick and Anthony, where was Trent to explain for his heel turn?" What now?
Oh, I think he's talking about Trent Beretta. They needed to fill time with the footage. That's where he was.
No, you didn't. You chose you chose to fill time with the footage. You didn't need to do that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's an 8-year-old wound. That's picking a scab and everything, and you didn't need to do that. You just chose to do that because you're a weird motherfucker. Really.
Exactly. So we're
getting the contract signing.
Same thing. You're about to say the same thing, so go ahead.
Well, I always pop for a Santino of, trust me, it's become a thing. Even like when we had John Cena, and it even struggled right there to say it instead of John Cena when he showed up at WrestleMania. Santino's over with me of just his always comic, always mispronouncing of everything.
Right. So we have the contract signing between Jordan Grace and Steph D. Lander for their match at Rebellion, which I feel like Matt Cardona is going to get involved. I don't know why, but I feel like he's going to get involved some type of way with this match.
Well, it's Steph D. Lander, so yeah, absolutely.
Right.
The noble voice. What up, my guy? I already gave you credit, and maybe Anthony Willis too, just because you got a Bills, flag there behind you in the profile picture. But shout out, my guy.
Yes, we stand the Bills here. We definitely stand the Bills here.
Yeah, even though we just traded Stephon Diggs to where I feel like I'm a little bit like Timmy Turner's dad. If this is where I would put my number one wide receiver, if I had one.
No, absolutely. My family was a bit upset about it.
Bro, we traded them for a 2025 pick and eating $31 million in dead cap. Biggest fuck up of the week. The Bills trading Stephon Diggs and Tony Khan airing the all-in footage. Tight race, close race. But we've got D-Lander and Matt Cardona out here.
Yeah.
Now, betting odds, over, under, or just take your prediction. Who goes through the table here? Because as foreseen, as foretold, when it comes to pro wrestling, if you have a contract signing, somebody must go through the table.
I'm going to say Matt Cardona is going to go through the table by Jordan Grace.
That's not a bad shout, honestly. Literally, as you were kind of saying it out loud, I was like, I can see it.
Right. The last contract signing we had involving the women, I believe Trinity, now known as Naomi, went through the table by Eddie Edwards. That pissed me off. That did piss me off. So
Fair,
I think tonight we're gonna have Jordan Grace putting Matt Cardona through the table.
But now normally whoever goes through the table ends up being the one who loses. It's again. Or actually, no, it's sorry, other way around. Actually, I realized I just said that in upon itself. Like if Jordan Grace put through Cardona through the table, that would then imply Jordan Grace is going to win because it's always the go home show. Whoever goes over on the go home show, you're losing at the show.
That is true. That is true. I don't think Jordan Grace is losing that knockout title anytime soon.
But what if she's going to a different company or going to be doing business with another company?
It just depends. That's true.
We could be doing a draft. They didn't say somebody from another company might not get drafted. Right?
I was about to say, depending on the contract she signed with TNA, but that doesn't matter here if they have a working relationship. The Jordan Grace and Natalya match has been thrown out by Natalya and Jordan Grace in the past week. So make it happen.
The contract on this land said wrestling, not you.
What would be really interesting? Oh, Jordan Grace is about to talk. I don't want to interrupt her.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, I got D-Lander signing the contract right now. I don't know if I'm ahead or behind you here.
It sounds like we might be on the same wavelength.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, my bad. I turned it down. Copyright. We don't need to get taken down because when you start to put out things that even the company put out and they don't like the reaction it got,
that doesn't even
take it down.
That didn't make sense to me at all. Like you put the video out, now you want to take it down from everything, and then you edit it out of your video you put on YouTube. Like,
you ever send a text to a friend or especially an ex or anything like that? Like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And
right.
I guess it really should be. You can have that. That ain't what I'm mad.
Exactly. All right, so Jordan Grace was running down her resume, but got interrupted by Matt Cardona saying, "I beat you for the Digital Media Championship."
Yeah, but the fact that Jordan Grace was in that match is kind of like you have no marbles. Like it's one of those, I got bigger stones than you, my guy.
Right.
Monsters Ball is a fantastic gimmick match. Actually, small mark. Shout out everybody in the chat. I know we've been halfway talking about everything with AW, but we're towards the back end. Is Monsters Ball one of the last gimmicks that really is TNA Impact exclusive?
That and the X Division, what is it? The Ultimate X match, those two, I feel like are the TNA exclusive, and they don't falter at all, especially the Monsters Ball match. Hopefully I'm not like psyching myself up for this one, but I'm expecting it to be great.
You just regret all the ones I
watched last year.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's the thing, and that's what still always makes TNA a bit unique. And I mean, even with this, Christ, if we've still got the tie-in in there, is TNA WWE's bridge to the independent scene, because are people in WWE paying attention? They might be paying attention to what Cardona's doing. Are they paying attention to what D-Lander's doing? If it isn't A for her with Cardona, and it isn't B for her being involved with TNA.
Absolutely. I do think TNA is the bridge for WWE to the independent scene. Just look at Jordan Grace being involved in the Women's Royal Rumble. Actually, while I was there live, thought Moose was going to show up. That would have just been perfect to have him in the Men's Royal Rumble. So I think it is. And I think with Nick Khan being there, it just shows that he wants to work with outside companies. And for your first outside company to be TNA, you're definitely watching the talent that TNA is bringing in weekly.
Oh, absolutely. But now it becomes that question, that issue, especially because budget constraints and pocket strings have been always the discussion with TNA. Could it be, well, we'll bring you in and you're just like how WWE had a relationship with I believe it was Progress and Revolver, or at least Evolution, or Evolve, sorry. On the kind of independent scene, do we have them kind of, we'll fund everything you do, but it's going to be this cross blend of talent here between TNA and WWE? Like you mentioned, Natalia versus Jordan Grace. You mentioned her being on in the Women's Rumble. Natalia just went up. There's potential of a Josh Alexander once he gets out of the contract extension, goes up to WWE's main roster. So could it be a bit of a tinge of a feeder system?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Everything you said, I think it rings true. So I'm interested to see what really happens with WWE and TNA over the next couple of months, and years. Oh, well, we got the handshake.
D-Lander's like taller than me. Like she's like same height as like Cardona. Type shit.
Oh,
Like I
all
would
right. Some
climb that mountain. But yeah. Oh, the headbutt. So
yeah,
yeah, it looks
Grace with
it's
the
looking
slap.
like Jordan Grace is gonna go through the table. Oh, what are the five fingers say to the face? Slap.
Oh, Matt Cardona getting involved, just knocked out Santino. Grace going through the table.
Now, could that be the underlying implication here to where, Santino Marella ends up being the deciding factor between Jordan Grace and Steph D-Lander here? Because
Could be the case.
of the bump.
Oh, was that a choke slam?
Yeah, choke slam. D-Lander choke slams Jordan Grace through the table. So you know who's winning at Rebellion, and it's Jordan Grace.
Grace, exactly.
Then
That was a
again,
sick
respectfully, I don't
clothesline.
know if I expect the Impact Knockouts women title to be expended to be defended at GCW, in your house or any shit like that.
Right. And we don't even know. I know Matt Cardona is like on a per appearance deal. I don't know what Steph D-Lander is on. So
I would assume the same, but I also, what the fuck? I'm honestly, I'm a big fan of Steph D-Lander. Has very much evolved herself from, what was it, Persia Parada and all of that and everything, to where she's fully developed. She's tenfold of what she was as a pro wrestler in the NXT system. But as we've got Masha getting circled by the system.
And Alicia Edwards still vowing to wanting to be her tag team partner because Killer Kelly obviously is out for a minute. I like Alicia Edwards, but I don't understand this pairing with
Is she
Masha and
of this
Alicia.
planet? I honestly asked that with Alicia Edwards.
I don't know. I really
is she
don't.
Something from like the Men in Black? Like she just out there needs sugar water or something. I'm really quite. Is she up there? If you put her, Maxine Dupree, and maybe like Ivy Nile or something, at least those two as a tag team, just call them the goddamn fembots.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know where Alicia Edwards comes from.
But hey,
but
sorry, side note,
yeah.
as we're getting another replay, I know we talked about this. I think it was definitely the Impact going into WrestleMania week and everything. We had Jonathan Gresham, kind of didn't put all the pieces together here to where he's now officially signed. He's official like a referee whistle with Impact. But I'm kind of all the way here for this. Like, this is your best landing spot if I'm Jonathan Gresham. You get Jonathan Gresham versus Josh Alexander, Jonathan Gresham versus Alexander Hammerstone, Jonathan Gresham versus Steve Macklin, Jonathan Gresham versus Moose. Like, this is kind of the best landing spot you could have.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he had awesome matches with Speedball Mike Bailey last year. I think they had 5 altogether. Every one of them was better than the last one. So
it's so interesting with this because I kind of want to say the vibe that they're giving, but I don't want to sound any sort of way. As we're going back to the octopus mask and everything, it's very much, and you've got the bee going around. It's very much Get Out vibes.
absolutely,
It's very much kind of that of literally you have all the certain people at the table and everything. But it's one of those of. And especially with Jonathan Gresham of everything that he's been through with he went to AEW, he went to Ring of Honor, he arguably, notably, debatably had the blow up with Tony Khan, etc. So it's very much become that how do we relaunch him and get him back to where he was? And this is how you do it.
Yeah, this is definitely perfect. When he showed up last year, he had those series of matches, and then after that, he kind of disappeared. And for them to wait this long to reintroduce him seems like they got some big plans for him in the future. Hopefully, that's in line with the TNA World Championship run with the company as well.
I feel like it needs to be because Christ just named off about 4 or 5 matches that they could have that are main event pay-per-views right there. It just can book, their next fucking whole run for pay-per-views right there off of that.
Exactly. And one of the matches he could have definitely if Nick Nemeth wins the
Shit, I forgot about it.
Nick Nemeth and Jonathan Gresham. Like I would pay to see that. I would travel somewhere to see that, like that's a match that I want to see.
And they don't need to be title matches or anything like that. And TNA has a little bit of that advantage. I think it's always had that to an extent of it doesn't fall onto the Titan towers of WWE and everything to where you could have a guy like Jonathan Gresham, who's Daniel Bryan's size, all of that, but is built like a brick shit house and can throw you from pillar to post and everything.
Absolutely.
One thing to see Jonathan Gresham versus Roman Reigns. It's another thing to see Jonathan Gresham versus, like you even said right there, Nick Nemeth, and that's your main event.
Absolutely. Main event of I'm calling it now, main event of Bound for Glory. But yeah,
there you go.
Like that's a main event worthy match. And man, now that we're talking about it, I need to see it happen.
Zigglypuff gonna get thrown from pillar to post here.
Right.
I've got Moose right now taking on Trent Seven. So again, give us your predictions in the chat if you haven't done so already. Let us know who you're taking and why is it Moose.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Like, if you're picking Trent Seven, something's wrong with you. Like, something's clearly wrong. It has to be Moose.
I mean, it could happen. It could happen. But so, depending on how this goes, are they going to give a good amount of time to the Monsters Ball of the man in the back said everyone attack and turn it to a ballroom blitz? Oh wait, that's the show on Wednesday. Sorry.
I would assume they would give them time, but sometimes I'm concerned about like if you give PCO time, is he able to go that distance? I think it's been proven that he can, but sometimes I get concerned.
Yeah, but a Monsters Ball is just bang, boom, clash. It's catastrophe.
That's true.
All that. You ain't having no 5-star Monsters Ball matches, respectfully.
No, that is true. It's just chair shots and doors and tables and thumbtacks and anything else you can name.
Right. Well, how do you feel about Juan? I feel like we might have halfway in the chat, but Juan saying, I gave up on TNA since Scott D'Amore left. So you as the TNA representative, the tribalist.
It went to a little rocky after Sacrifice, because I think Sacrifice was the first event without Scott D'Amore. It was a little rocky, but I feel like it's picked up the pace, and I feel like they're going strong to Rebellion. So this is the time that you need to pick back up TNA Wrestling if you fell off because of Scott D'Amore. I know I wasn't going anywhere unless the quality of the show went down extremely, and it hasn't. I'm still entertained each and every week. So yeah, Juan, get back on the saddle and get to watching TNA again.
I'm back in the saddle again. But that's a huge statement right there, though. We even had that whole back and forth of once they got rid of Scott, was the locker room going to turn? Were you going to see a revolt of, people, unaccepting of the new regime of TNA? And it seems like they haven't missed a hiccup here.
Absolutely. It was thoughts, it was, fears of walkouts and of sorts, and none of that has happened. I don't think anyone actually has left TNA since Scott D'Amore, was fired. So they're still hitting on all cylinders, I see.
Fair enough. Well, absolutely, I agree with that. But Small Mark, it's a monster's ball. It's a great ball. You do the mash. Do the monster mash. No, to me, it's the time warp and the man. Let's do the time warp again. Speaking of time warps,
watching you go through each song, being like, "No, I'm thinking time warp," but sing Ballroom Blitz, and then
sorry, it's not my fucking human jukebox. Okay,
we got you there.
Try.
The track and the audio are not lining up. What is happening?
Yeah, thank you for pointing out the botch.
Moose for the win. Not yet. 8% people voted for Trent. What is up with that?
Wow.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that post.
Ooh, spear by Moose.
PCO, the king of TNA. No, he's the dead man. He's the Undertaker. He's the Uncanuck.
Exactly.
He just don't give a fuck.
The undernucker. The undernucker.
That sounds perverted. That sounds like that Will Ospreay. You had to grind on the boss's daughter for the undernutter.
Grind. He even put hip action into it. Moose with the W.
Yeah, it was no question that Moose was not gonna win this.
Yeah.
And the Kane of TNA is Abyss. That's always been the case.
Oh no, he's the Mick Foley. He's Mankind.
Not a bad show.
Oh, Bailey in the system. Like, why did you even try to attack them? It's one of you.
Danielson.
Right. Sweep the leg, Danielson. Sweep the leg.
This is a terrible plan.
Wax on, wax off.
Oh, now Kushida and the Motor City Machine Guns.
There we go. Time changers. Kushida with the big punch.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jesse, what up? Okay, I give TNA another try for Anthony since AW has been a disappointment.
Can't be any worse than Wednesdays. Watch it on, come on now.
No, it can. It can. That's the only scary part, is it can.
That, yeah. I mean, I think we've said it multiple times of it can't get worse than this, and then it does. So, what is rock bottom for these guys? Jesus.
Well, it involves a rock. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Up next, Jake something.
Yeah, Jake something versus one of it. Was it a 2-on-1 handicap match or just one of them?
It's an or.
Okay.
It's Jake versus something. Let's call it like it is. It's Jake versus something.
Meese. Both of them are going to win? I'm waiting for Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth. That's going to be good or fun.
Yeah.
I think we're setting up for the Motor City Machine Guns last match next week on Impact.
Okay.
I don't know.
Their last match has got to be a tag match instead of we did one singles match and then another singles match on two different tapings. Well, one taping just aired differently.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be Trent and Speed?
Well, Santina out there just saying, the system's going to sit there and defend their titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. with special guest referee John Cena.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, so we got the Decay invoking their rematch clause.
Let's go.
Interesting.
I just say I want Rosemary to go back to the face paint and everything. No disrespect, but like I don't buy just the eyeshadow.
She's face painting.
I think she's
Harley Quinn.
I think she's face painting for the matches. I think.
Yeah.
I want her. I guess I'm so used to Axiom with the backstage mask and in-ring mask. I need all the face paint.
PCO and Abyss would have made a Monsters of Destruction. Oh, there you go. AW ain't even wrestling. It's the real wrestling.
It's where the real wrestlers wrestle.
Right?
Wrestle. You got to say wrestle.
Wrestle. And here comes Jake something. He's something, all right.
Does Mustafa Ali lose at Rebellion to Jake something? I don't know. I kind of see it happening.
I wonder how long Ali was locked in for.
Ah, that's true. That's true, because it's definitely not a full time contract.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Is if this was a hop, skip, and a jump and a stepping stone of could he go the Naomi Trinity route? And this was I did my campaign on the independent tour here. And then once that's done, I go back to where I might get booked a little bit better. And we've seen WWE go towards a lighter division. We have Twitter Speed out there and everything. He can be a 7-time speed champion with all of that. It's that crossing the line there, because I think what all he's doing on the independent scene is great. I want to see him stay there. I want to see him retain. I want to see him, have a 4-year presidential campaign through the independents.
Yeah. Out of all the folks that left WWE, talking about Trinity as well, one person I don't see going back is Mustafa Ali. At least right now.
Yeah.
Like I would give it like 2 years.
Oh, okay. I can see it though, just because of the Triple H factor and it being something different though. I just wonder.
But is it also, it does become that issue, and I know AEW has that issue, they choose to ignore it, but you get to a log jam to where would you slot Ali right now? And I know this is the new era, we can do anything and everything, of literally there's nothing but greener pastures to start on here. I mean, we're starting in the Cody Rhodes era of it's no longer the chase, he's the champion. So where do you slot an Ali in, or do you maybe let him develop and grow, much like a Trinity who developed and established herself beyond that, and then you bring it in when maybe there's a clearer pathway?
Maybe. I think you could definitely, again, we'll see what he does. I like his gimmick. I like what he's trying to push. I think he wanted to do it in WWE. He never really got to be the guy he is right now. If it continues to work, they'll notice.
Well, absolutely. I'm sure it's go. Ooh.
Oh, sorry. It was
you're good. I'm sure. Well, yes. I could imagine once I read CM, it's asking about the footage.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that's how it is. If you don't have to read past CM, and I know at least in general what you're talking about.
Right.
No doubt. But we talked about this a lot tonight, Smile Mark. But you can go back and see our full kind of breakdown of it. But it's not good. Sum it up real short. Not good.
Absolutely.
So I will ask you this, and I know we've got this going on, but we've got James Drake taking on Jake something right now. So give us your prediction if you haven't done so already. But at least on a scale, if you had to, and you can adjust your scale as you see fit or whatever. Where does this fall as far as like end of AW, nail in the coffin, gonna forget about it in 24 hours? Like, where does this fall on your fuck up for AEW, I guess?
Oh, wait, who's that?
Diener. It was Diener that came out.
Friend of the channel, shout out.
Diener. So Diener and Jake something. There you go.
What kind of move was that? Like he picked him up from the ground. I don't. Yeah.
That was something.
Exactly.
Well, it was like
that was something.
It was like a standing, almost black hole slam. I mean, it didn't spin him here, but it was just the standing side side slam there, or the Broad Street, whatever, the big boss man shit, the big boss man
slam.
Ah, okay.
Oh, we got Ali. Say no to something. Signs are hilarious.
Hey, it sounds like AW's Twitter. Say no to something.
Say no to something. We want limits.
we're gonna imply restrictions here. I kind of like it.
He does not want
tope on everybody here.
Took everybody down. Oh, gotta hold him, Mustafa.
Ali does not want anything to do with something. He wants nothing to do with something.
Well, I was gonna say, we had Dina out here with something. So what's with Dina? Something.
Oh,
GYV out here coming to the rescue.
Everybody getting involved.
But they're out here replacing the good hands out here.
Yeah,
we've had the good hands replaced by the bad hands.
Oh. They're better hands. Let's be honest. They're grizzled. They're grizzled.
Must Ali like fire.
That's how you know you're at a truck stop when it's grizzled. Ali with the belt shot to Jake something here.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling Jake something is winning that rebellion.
I don't know.
It all depends on how much Ali is into TNA going forward.
Yeah.
Back.
All right, here we go with Monsters Ball.
I'm still mad that we haven't got I wanted that women's Monsters Ball match between Decay and our good friends Masha and Killer Kelly.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even ever thought about that match, but when you kept talking about it, I was like, yeah, that's a Monsters Ball match we need to see.
He's alive.
I was gonna say, what in the name of Omen am I watching? PCO coming out of here.
What's the one? Is it House on Haunted Hill where they're in the old insane asylum?
Name a horror movie, and it'll probably fit.
Definitely that.
The House on Horror, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Halloween 37 Hill. It'll fit.
You get a thumb.
Yeah. No. Where we putting AW posts, with this whole situation. Well, we're getting the hype up for a match and everything. So I'll ask this now again. Of post, footage, where are we putting this? Of like, was that nail in the coffin? Was that, resuscitation? Was that, life alerts? Or where are we at with this?
Mr. Anthony?
I don't know if it's the nail in the coffin. But I do know that they've lost some viewers last night with that. So it does bring their credibility down because you can't take them seriously. Like there was no point to kind of show that footage. You can't take them seriously, so it brings their credibility down a lot.
Absolutely. I think for me, I hope this is rock bottom. I hope this causes them to look at each other and go, all right, everybody that we can think of, even some of our near and dear, like a Dave LaGreca, are criticizing our decisions. We need something to change. We need something to come together here. If everyone's just going to row the boat and collect money, then that's what this feels like. This feels like everyone is just pillaging this money mark. So I hope this is rock bottom and they can course correct and go the other way.
We're watching a public robbery right now, is what we are. And it's all downhill from here. And honestly, I'll say that in hoping that they prove me wrong. That's the thing, is we've constantly been critical and no, you just hate AW. No, we want it to do better, and just no one will fucking listen. So maybe if I just at this point just start wishing on it to fucking keep going where it's going and expect that the bottom's gonna fall out, maybe they'll course correct, because the other shit, the positive shit, wasn't working.
No, true.
Oh, we got PCO. The lightning is in the house. There we go. I came prepared.
You did come prepared. It's giving PCO Undertaker.
It's not black or white though.
What's up, Samuel?
Let me throw it off screen here.
Samuel, I did address this publicly earlier tonight, but I will say it again for the new people here. I am not KO.
He's KO, bro.
Every 10 minutes, someone asks me if I'm KO online today. Every 10 minutes. Yo, bro, you KO? He's my cousin. We're good old Canadian boys.
See, on one hand, I almost like can't relate. It's one of those of like, I've never been there, so I don't know.
I wonder if I can get into WWE events for free if they think I'm KO.
Bro, especially they're going to fucking. By the way, we haven't even talked about this, and I haven't seen this to fully confirm this. WWE with the best closet troll of the best sneak punch there of the promo code to get into where you can buy the package for all the tickets to Money in the Bank and everything is all WWE.
I did not.
I wonder why.
The thing that's the best part of this from their side is everything's ambiguous. Everything's like plausible deniability, right? Even with the Osprey thing of, I don't know.
Drew McIntyre's got nothing but artillery rounds. He's just like a fucking care package just dropped in front of him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I needed some other shit to talk about with Punk. I got extra rounds and extra clips to go at this man now.
Oh, for Drew, like to use and
to build towards the feud and everything. Absolutely, yep. I saw you. You waited until the man slicked his hair back before you could push him. You're a trained UFC fighter. You had expert. Yeah, you got all the rounds of ammunition here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much they toy with it. But everything, like I said, seems to be on the edge. They don't lean in anything. It's just little pot shots. It's little swipes. Like, did I just get grazed? Shit, I think I did. The death by 1,000 cuts from WWE. They're just poking the bear, poking and poking. And Tony's taking every single bait.
And again, I said it before and I'll say it again. It's amazing how the company that no-sells anything on a historic pace can't no-sell an interview or a couple interviews or anything.
Absolutely. No. Just walk around
PCO
like that.
was flying through the air, got caught with a trash can square in his face.
Yeah. Both men on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A rose such a cloud, and it was Kong caving in's, PCO's brain matter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that a baking pan?
Too big.
It's late in the evening and we're getting hungry. Everything. Is that a baking pan? I was make so much shit on that right now.
Instantly was like, cookies. Anyone got cookies?
Well, fuck. I could have gone in a grinding about cookies, but yeah.
The lightning tripping anyone out there? I don't want to cause any issues, so we'll go back to the red. I forgot about the lightning.
There you go.
WWE needs to let go and move on. And the inside jokes and swipes are going to get old and stupid. After a while, don't mock AEW, then proceed to be like, no, it's different though. It's almost, it is a little bit of bullying, I feel at times, because they're winning so big.
Yeah, but one was asked on an interview and the other took time out of their production to do that shit. Like, that's the thing is, respectfully, if we had any issues with anything, if we were in WWE shoes, and not saying we are, but hope to be or anything, if KJ, if you were Kevin Owens right now and you get interviewed by Ariel Helwani and everything like that, what you say during that interview is because what you were asked during that interview. You're not taking time out of WWE's production. You're not taking any time out of any shows or anything like that.
Nor
should AEW, we're gonna, dedicate whole times. We're gonna build whole shows. Christ, we sat there and talked about it. Outside of if you're a regular AEW watcher, what did you know that was going to happen on AEW this week? Outside of they were to show the footage.
I mean, they kind of mentioned that they might do Penta Adam Copeland.
All right, so one match.
It wasn't really emphasized.
One match and footage.
Yeah, there was, and that's all we talked about, even through the end. And I mean, even the little thing of, I know people talked about it a bit. I thought it was silly, but Samoan Joe versus Dustin Rhodes.
Well, was that not a shot? Was that not a subliminal of like a little body blow here? I heard you like Samoan Joseph versus a member of the Rhodes family. I got you covered, my guy.
I don't know if that was like a complete shot. I don't feel like it was. But AEW got a lot.
So happened to be. When the last time we saw Cody Rhodes or Dustin Rhodes challenging Samoa Joe for a world title? He's out there challenging the Blade of like, can we coexist? But now all of a sudden he's in a world title eliminator on around WrestleMania weekend.
Right. But it's silly to do it because it's like, this is like the
again, it's just you respectfully.
Yeah.
You can stop right there. Welcome to AEW. It's silly to do it. What is insert thing that AEW has done? Right. It's silly to do it. End of discussion.
This is silly. Let's do it anyway.
Exactly.
AEW took some. No, they're both guilty of it. I just think one is, it's that typical, like when everyone's kind of joking around and like with your friends or whatever, and there's that one person that doesn't know how to do it properly, so everyone's being sarcastic and making funny jokes, and then someone just blurts out like, you're an asshole. You're like, no, you don't get the game. You don't get the game. And that's AEW. They just can't. They don't know how to play the game back, so they're just yelling shit out.
Got the trash can over PCO's head, and it has the chain around his hand.
Oh.
Like, I feel bad for PCO. Like, this man is a senior citizen.
The man takes a beating.
That's the one thing you gotta have to forget about it. Like, this man is on ARP.
Right.
Actually, correction. He's Canadian. I don't know if you have that in the country, but yeah.
Oh, that's true.
He's on ARP.
Yeah, just not named the same.
What is it called? Assisted, old people, maple syrup syndrome or something? What?
There's the reach of the night, folks.
I asked a question and didn't get an answer, so I created an answer.
Yeah. I'm off top of my head, I don't know what we call it. I'm too young.
Fair enough.
I know everyone thinks I'm old, but I'm not that old.
It's the not Kevin Owens system.
Right. That's like your pension plan, right? Like your social assistance.
No, that's just called a joke of a pension.
Okay.
That's laughable.
Right.
Khan trying to pick PCO up and put him through a table. Ooh. Khan's back hit the apron.
Night, brought to you by Lugs, which is exactly what Punk might have been wearing when he stomped Jack Perry out.
It's what I'm wearing right now, to be honest.
They still make them shits?
Man, I'm loyal to that brand for a long time.
I'll be out here in my Himbalands. You can have them Lugs.
I like me some.
Some
wow.
nice.
Does a PCO show up at work and goes, "Okay, guys, do everything you possibly can to me"?
Exactly. That's what it gives with PCO.
That bump on the apron looked vicious.
And then him flying through the ropes after.
And then he just does a toe.
Somebody's going through a table, though.
Can I say this as politely as I can? If he almost shows up of like, please give me a reason to stop doing this. And no one's found a reason at this point.
Like, let me get hurt so I can take some work.
Right. Let me just shit. I've never hoped for an injury, but goddamn.
Wait, no. He'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, that bacon sheet to the skull's gonna set him all right.
Keep in mind, at the pay-per-view, he broke his neck twice.
Oh, he's going to the top.
Oh, what happened to that boy? Is all my money spent.
Swan Canadian.
PCO flying through
the table.
Now, honestly, he's like literally, can I fall into everything? Everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
As PCO with the cannonball from the top to the floor, through a table, through Big Con. We knew this one was going to be fun, folks.
I came in like a Montreal.
Right. Are they in Philly tonight? I'm not. Do you know where these are filmed?
Yep, they're still the 2400 tapings.
There you go. Does PCO want to kill himself?
Ooh,
I hope not. I think he wants to just show everyone how close he can get without actually doing it.
Right.
Oh, by the window.
He's Canadian. He's like curling with his life. How close can I get to the button? That's revenge for last week.
I don't know why curling popped me so goddamn much. I think I was halfway thinking of Ron Burgundy doing commentary on curling and everything. I feel like that would be me watching that of, Great Odin's Raven.
Down goes PCO again.
Yeah.
The man is insane.
Ooh.
Keep in mind,
bro, I just need the footage of someone just lights up, PCO with the kendo stick and everything. It's just
dude. It's somebody.
PCO Skywalker taking down Darth Khan.
It's someone's grandfather flying into everything.
Bro, he has grandkids. Like he's a great grandfather. I feel at this point.
Could be. So explain to me how people always criticize Darby Allin and other AEW talent for stupid bumps. They do, but they don't. Oh, we were really going to do this game.
PCO doesn't do stupid bumps. I'm sorry. And that's how I'm going to end it.
What he said.
PCO is just old. He does regular bumps like regular wrestlers do. They go through a table. He flies through the ropes. He does topes everywhere, but he doesn't do stupid bumps like going through glass.
Fact. And he generally only does his big stuff like this tonight. Mm-hmm. This is the Monster Ball. He's got to show up, show out.
Right.
And it's the cap to a storyline that's been working. So you're not just randomly jumping through furniture or off furniture every week for nothing. You're doing it because that's where the rivalry has gotten us.
Exactly. And they've had Khan and PCO have had like 3 matches, and this is the first one that was actually extreme. The other 2 were straight up singles matches.
Right.
You show up and show up because that's what the show's about. Instead of, we take back body drops through double panes of glasses when, the icon's retiring and everything like that. Oh!
Oh my God.
No.
I'm really starting to wonder, just on a personal level, just so my back can feel better, are the ladders that they have made of aluminum foil? I know they're not, but it's one of those that, because that makes my spine hurt. Like, it's like watching Dynamite last night. You have secondhand embarrassment. This is secondhand pain.
And I will point
This
out,
is exactly what it is, secondhand pain, because I felt that ladder shot.
100% secondhand pain. Man, unbelievable. For those who are watching,
we got thumbtacks.
We got
good.
tags. We can't have a Monsters Ball match without tags.
Yeah.
Please don't put him in his mouth. Please don't pull him in his mouth, because that's what it's looking like.
Stop, I'm crying. Don't cry. Dry your eye.
Don't cry. There's so much more for you to see.
He put him in the mouth.
Yeah, they're going in the mouth.
Then again, is that M&M's to PCO out here?
Right? That's just candy.
All right. And the man in the back said everyone attack.
He spit him out and threw some in his face.
And it turned it in the mouth. Ballroom, right?
Oh, he's going to do the PCO salt through the tags. Please don't do this, PCO. Please. He's doing it. Why am I begging him?
Wait, but he had him in his mouth. Did he swallow him, or did
he spit him out?
Hatui.
PC's going up, but Daniel will
PCO salt. Oh, the toi.
Cat sank. Yes.
Yeah, it's sounding like a Maple Leaf scoreboard right now with that.
His arm just tore up.
Jeez.
Is PCO just hardcore Mr. Dress Up?
Fine.
I don't know. Yeah. You're the only Canadian that's probably going to get that reference.
I've been to the treehouse, bro.
I've been to the treehouse too. My
treehouse all the time.
Yeah, there might be different treehouses. Yeah.
Can't have it both ways. AEW takes shots bad. WWE takes shots good. No. I mean, listen. It's a war. I want them to take shots at each other. I want them to interact. I want there to be competition. The issue isn't that one's doing it and the other one's not doing it. It's the other one's doing it smooth and like an adult and
treat it like boxing, stick and move.
And the other one seems to have Tourette's and can't figure their shit out. So
hey, that was Dustin in the main event,
right? Home on left knows his wrestling too. There we go. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
Right. Oh, sorry. This popped me of cat sink, dog sink. Have a whiskey drink, have a vodka drink.
Right. No, that's that stupid joke where there's three cats named Un, deux, trois, and then they got a boat.
I literally didn't know that. No.
Yeah. They go out on a boat and the boat gets a hold and Un, deux, trois, cat sank.
I literally was just like, the man's counting. So that's why I'm like,
there.
Good old Canadian proverb.
Yeah, there's your French Canadian.
No one's the white.
Your French Canadian joke for the
week. Right.
There
Turn in, on SmackDown when you can watch Kevin Steen the Gray.
That's it. The Gray bastard. 8 out of 10. Yeah, get your ratings out of 10 in, folks. How did you feel about the show? I'll ask the gentlemen on each side of me how they felt about the show as well. Pause. That sounded wrong. But yeah, no, definitely. How did you guys like it?
For me, I feel like
this. Did you grind for it?
Felt like I got grinded.
I think this might have been one of the best episodes in a minute. It started off with the hot, brawl between Alexander and Alex Hammerstone, and it didn't stop. Even the tag team match where I thought, like I said, I dogged that match in my head today, like this is gonna be stupid. It delivered in every sense of the word. So my rating tonight is a solid 8.
Yeah, it was way better than what I sat through last night. Nick,
well, that's fucking. I feel like I'm Jeff Goldblum staring at that fucking mound of dinosaur shit after the Tyrannosaurus or the Triceratops and everything. That's a big pile of shit. Yeah, that's what AEW was. But yeah, no, that tonight was. I'll give it a 7. I can be pushed towards a 7.5, but I'll give it a 7. It's very much pushing towards Rebellion. There was good, yeah. It's one of those.
There was good, there was bad, there was ugly.
Well, it's one of those that like I'm finding hard. It's hard to find a true fault with it, but there was nothing that really set me far another way or anything. Like I feel like everything we kind of got, we were gonna get, and I like it. Like I said, I could be sold on a 7.5. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with both of you. I mean, I think that kind of grading it on the TNA scale, that was an 8. I mean, 7.5, 8, either way you can dice it up. But I thought there was a lot of good content there tonight. I thought the main event was fun. PCO's a maniac. Like Anthony said, it kind of started with fireworks and I kind of kept going. There was a lot of good stuff. I like what's happening with the system. Santino was good. Yeah, really solid show tonight.
Yeah, nothing disappointed for me. I think everything I went into, even the Monsters Ball match, I was excited for it, and I said that I didn't want it to I didn't want my expectations to be so high, and it it sucked, but it didn't. My expectations were met. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with tonight's show.
Absolutely.
Well, no, I'm glad that because normally they've done some Monsters Ball matches, like Anthony was saying there, that haven't really delivered, that have been kind of, paint by numbers almost. Let's just get through this shit to get through this shit. And that kind of more fit the bill of we were out here popping of like, don't put the tacks in his mouth. Wait, did he swallow them? Is he gonna just out there like fucking cartoon and just when they shit out, they spit out the pile of bumblebees after they swallow the beehive there. Of he's gonna spit out the pile of thumbtacks here. It was kind of on that level a little bit.
Juan gave it an 8.5. AJ gave it an 8.5. TNA Wrestling for me was an 8 out of 10 with flame, says Christopher. Anthony,
really
there you go.
Oh, am I interested in the Motor City Machine Guns versus the System? Yep. Especially since it's their last match and we know they're going to lose because this match is sets up for Rebellion. If the Motor City Machine Guns win, they can challenge for the titles at Rebellion. That's not happening. So,
but do the Motor City Machine Guns resign?
As of right, they probably do, but as of right now, they're still free agents. So. Yeah, I don't see them re-signing just yet. I think they do want to explore free agency for a minute.
Right.
You're right. Maybe you guys can go AEW and call yourselves Wrestling 3, but we're Wrestling for life. So we're gonna need
we don't have even any sort of backstage footage or anything to show or anything like that. So how are we gonna fit in?
It would be more entertaining. I promise that much.
Our shit on screen is more entertaining. So fuck the backstage shit.
Right. 0 to 10, no footage of All In. No footage from Bound for Glory 2020.
No footage of Scott D'Amore being fired.
Right. 7.0 ish. TNA has a dope shows. Yeah, I was highly entertained. And again, all three of us watched Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Again, this was one of the better shows we got this week. I know mixed reviews for Monday. Tuesday was pretty good. Wednesday shit the bed. Tonight was solid.
Yep. NXT for my second show, that NXT was really good. And Natalya always to me is underrated, and she proved it on Tuesday. I really enjoyed that match with Roxanne Perez.
I'm waiting to see the crossover between Jordan Race and Natalya and everything, and it's going to be. I feel like that's like a TNA sacrifice, my sacrifice. That's when they'll maybe do something like that. But yeah, and it's. I know we've talked about it before of TNA was the number 2, and AEW was starting to, climb that ladder out of there, and it feels like now it's fallen back to now we're a bit of a dead even split here of what's number 2 here.
I don't even know if they were ever crawling out, but
oh,
right. 8 out of 10 from Tro, 7.5 from Eric, 7 from Keyshawn. I told you NXT was popping, Anthony. There you go.
You told me nothing. Thank you. You told me nothing, MDB.
Are you excited for the Bucks and FTR? I'm not.
Did anything change though from that to now? Like, I know we've always kind of wanted that match. Like, to me, I'm more excited for Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk after that, because Drew's got nothing but rounds of shit to talk about now, and maybe hint at and tease at, and if you don't get over it, don't get over it, but it'll still get a pop on Twitter, what have you. But there was nothing to me that conveyed any bit of extra excitement between the Young Bucks and the FTR going into Dynasty.
We're not even talking about it.
Exactly.
All right, like, it's the whole focal point is everything about Punk, and you can't pay Punk off. That's why none of this made sense at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, because if you go back 3-4 years and you said we were going to get a Bucks FTR match, people were losing their mind, the potential of it before they got to the company. Now we're like, all right.
Yeah, and is it gonna hurt you to have that whole match to where they're just chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, when this should be a showcase of 2 top tag teams, or 2 teams who should be top tag teams of this generation? Now, because of EVP action, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk.
Right. There you go. I just want to see FTR to get a live mic and start shitting all over AEW in the ring. Then they get to reform FTR in WWE. But Dax has become such a company guy.
Well, when you're locked up, won't let me out. You kind of have to. So that's the thing, is what we saw last night was, with them responding to it, was what everybody, and I do mean everybody, saying back to that. Like, no one wants AW to fail, because that's hundreds of people out of work and everything like that. And there is the potential and everything for them to do great pro wrestling. But this ain't the way, my guy. This ain't the move. This ain't the action. And now, you have FTR signing a long-term deal. So they got no choice but to go along to get along. Because guess what? I'm stuck here. So if I tell you this is shit, well, guess what? I'm here for the next 3 years. So why am I going to keep telling you shit for the next 3 years?
Right. I'm tired of Punk. Anyway, the wind blows.
Doesn't even. Fuck, now I'm going to be listening to that all night.
Show. But yeah, overall, good from TNA. Rebellion's building up nicely. I think I'm more excited for Rebellion than Dynasty. Back-to-back nights, so it will be a fun weekend here on the channel. But Rebellion's starting to shape up for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely shaping up to be a great pay-per-view. Most of the titles are on the line. I think we don't have the digital media title set, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Rebellion. I think it's going to be a great show.
Absolutely. But yeah, we will, I guess, put out last call to the chat and say goodbye. Shut her down. See the last couple coming in here. One of my favorite names in the chat. I don't want to see FTR or the Young Bucks ish.
Personal opinion, main event you want to watch more: Hammerstone versus Alexander, last man standing. Samoa Joseph versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship.
Damn, that's a tough one.
Because they're both same weekend, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. I like both.
Yeah, that's a tough decision.
I'll take Swerve, because, and I think this is a little bit of an afterthought of that's going to be missed in all of this is Swerve becoming AW World Champion is, I think, is going to be swallowed up by all of this bullshit drama, and I really kind of don't like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, definitely.
Oh, see, I was taking it the other way around, like you were saying that his win would take up over the footage, but okay, that makes sense now because I was like, I don't think anything's gonna take.
No, I was asking you which one are you more excited for, but yeah, no, I think if and when Swerve wins, because I think if Swerve don't win here, he ain't gonna win. And when he wins, I think it's gonna be he's gonna be in the fucking avalanche of bullshit and just get lost up in that.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely got that's the problem with all this extra bullshit is it's just we want to enjoy the wrestling. When people say, well, just tune in and enjoy the wrestling, we're trying. You keep bringing up drama and bullshit that we don't want to hear. We just want to enjoy the wrestling show. We don't care about your problems.
Why are you talking about some shit that happened 8 months ago? Right. We did it. We've been through that. We done that.
Right.
Move on.
Right.
Y'all broke up. Get over it.
Right. You had 8 minutes to get. You had 8 months to get over that shit. Why are you taking 9 months to get over it?
Josh Alexander is like watching paint dry. I humbly disagree.
No.
Wow. That's disrespectful.
If you've ever watched paint dry like that, then you might have a concussion or two. You might need to seek attention.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pack it in. We're going to tap out for tonight. Thank you for all the new faces in the chat. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. We are back at it for SmackDown tomorrow. And then we got some programming stuff coming up. Plus, we're here all week long, all next week. All the 5 shows that we always cover. Plus, we got 2 pay-per-views in 2 nights, a jam-packed weekend. It's going to be a fun one. But once again, thank you. And that's all I got.
Tune into Rebellion. We got multiple matches going down. I feel like the TNA Knockouts World Championship will be one of the matches of the night. So be locked in for Rebellion.
I just choked someone a little bit, but our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. What are you talking about? The wrestling, you put up with that for life with it.
Special Wrestling for Life footage coming out soon. See you on the flip side.